Welcome back. I'm Bill McCuddy from Entertainment Coast to Coast, and it is summertime. That means many of us are heading for the beach, and when we do, we think about the Beach Boys and their songs about surfing, fast cars. Well, now one of the Beach Boys surfing solo, and he joins us now, Brian Wilson. He has a new double CD in stores now. It is called Live at the Roxy Theatre. Welcome.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good.
How does it feel? Because we're going to talk about this.
It's a thrill. It's a thrill. It really is.
To be touring again and to go out?
Oh, yeah. A lot of attention and love I get from people, which I need.
Yeah. You need a little love these days?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of that, one of your buddies is you going to perform at the McCartney wedding? Maybe,
yeah.
He has said that his favorite song of all times is God Only Knows.
Yeah, he told me that, yeah. I think that's fantastic.
I mean, that's a huge thrill. I mean,
it is. It's a good song, though. It really is a good tune.
Yes, it is a good tune. It
is a good tune.
Now, McCartney, you just ended a tour with Paul Simon. McCartney actually came and saw you.
Yeah, to one of the shows. He walked in the audience, and everybody started screaming, and they saw him walking in. I was in the middle of singing God Only Knows. So I went, God only knows what I'd be without Paul. That was a little joke I told.
And that got a big response, obviously. Yeah. Was there with Heather, so you've met her.
Yeah.
And you must be pleased for them.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, if it is a big enough and the timing works out, you might actually go to that ceremony.
Very much. We might. Yeah, we sure might. Yeah.
What do you think is the quintessential Beach Boys song? What's the one that if they had to say?
Oh, California Girls, by far. Way more than Good Vibrations. California Girls. Hands down the coolest song we ever did.
And that's the one that, if you just had to pick one, that would absolutely, you think, go down in Beach Boys history as... Do you enjoy hearing it? I mean,
I love it. Every time I hear it, I love it. I can't get enough California Girls.
Now, you're out touring solo to support this new album.
Yeah.
You were with Mr. Paul Simon.
Yeah.
Do you do all of the Beach Boys stuff with just a different band?
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, when you're touring in support of...
we do most of our songs are Beach Boys songs, yeah.
So what's new on the album? What's new on Live at the Roxy?
What's new on it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of new tracks, I understand.
I don't know. I actually don't know.
You don't know what's on your album?
No, the extra two, were extra attractions, you mean?
Yeah.
I think one was...
on the CD, you have some new material, some new tracks that you had done.
What the heck? I can't remember. I'm sorry.
They've been tough.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, there was a report in today's Daily News that you and Mr. Simon were not getting along well. Any truth to that at all?
No, that is not true at all. It's absolutely untrue. We got along fine.
They talked during the tour. They said you two didn't speak, and this is all, lay it to rest now. This just didn't happen?
Yeah.
In fact, he appears in a tribute to you not long ago, and that's where the idea for you two touring came up, wasn't it?
Right. He played Surfer Girl at my the tribute show.
Right.
And then he called us about a week after we got home and asked us if we would like to take a tour with him. And we said, heck yes, we'd love to, So we just did a 7-week tour with him.
Have you always been a fan of his work?
Oh, yeah. I love Sound of Silence, all of his songs. I liked all of his songs. They were great.
Who did you consider the biggest competition to the Beach Boys when you guys were?
Probably the Beatles.
Yeah.
I think when they came along, we got jealous, because they were getting all the attention.
You guys did all right.
Yeah, fairly well, yeah.
Has it been a tough road? Have there been some times that you have not enjoyed as much as the touring now and getting out and...
Well, a few years ago, about 5-10 years ago, I was laying around. I wasn't doing anything, And then my wife and my manager said, hey, why don't we try a solo career tour thing, see how it goes over. I said, it'll never happen. They said, it will happen, just be positive. So all of a sudden, I found myself out there getting applause and, I was on my way.
You thought you could never go solo?
Yeah, I never thought I could.
We have been teasing for a couple of hours now about a sort of a surprise, and it's my pleasure now to actually introduce you to another Brian Wilson. He's our own Brian Wilson from the Fox News Channel, and he's down in Washington, D.C., and if you take a look at your camera here, dead ahead, That's another guy named Brian Wilson. Brian Wilson, meet Brian Wilson.
Hello.
This is one of the greatest honors of my life. I am one of the biggest fans, but I must tell a quick story. Every time I'm introduced somewhere and they say, this is Brian Wilson, of course, somebody always remarks, oh, the Beach Boy guy, to which I have a standard response is, no, but I get around. And it usually gets a pretty good laugh, so thank you very much for giving me a title that I could play with all these years when people would ask me that question.
You're welcome, sir.
It's good to meet you, and I hear you had a great concert in Washington.
We had a great concert, yeah.
You got rave reviews here in the local paper. It must have been quite a show. Sorry I missed it.
All right.
All right.
Hey, Brian, do you often get mail for Brian?
No, but I'll tell you one thing. I am an amateur musician myself. I play guitar, and I have a little recording studio in my basement.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Anytime that I order a piece of equipment for my studio, I order it through the internet, use the name Brian Wilson. Boy, that stuff arrives just like that.
Great. Great.
What a great story. I thought you were heading for, can we gig together sometime?
Well, anytime Brian wants to come play keyboards in my studio, he's very welcome.
All right, the invitation is open. Brian Wilson in Washington, thank you for joining us. And I want to mention that this Brian Wilson will be at Tower Records tonight for a signing of Live at the Roxy, 66th and Broadway between 6 and 7:30. If you're in the New York area, drop by and see one of the legends of rock and roll.
All right, thank you.
Brian, thanks.
All right.
All right, back to you guys.
You know, Brian Wilson in Washington actually produces the Fox News Live theme music,
We done?
which you may hear beginning right now.